Hi, step 2 of learning the Spirit Oracle deck. There's a few points in which I want to cover before we actually start hands-on with the deck of cards itself. And to me, they are very, very important elements, if you like. One of them is the code of conduct. It's how we conduct ourselves within the reading, how we pass things over, how we meet and greet the person that is having the reading. There are people that come for reading that can be very in a delicate space. They've had a lot of challenges, a lot of difficulties. It may be their first time having a reading, and they're somewhat nervous. So how we meet and greet them and bring them into the space is very, very important. The more secure they're feeling, the more comfortable they're feeling within that space, I kind of feel in a way it aids in opening up a doorway of connection. Because if someone sat there like this here, it doesn't necessarily really help. And it can close that doorway. So how we meet and greet, how we appear, is all very, very important. So that's kind of like the meet and greet and the appearance of who I am. But the next thing is how I work with the reading within that space. And generally a reading will last approximately, just a psychic reading is approximately 30 minutes, could be 45 minutes within that space. But I kind of in a way feel that a reading is meant to empower the sitter. It's not necessarily there to make decisions for them, but it's there to empower them in making decisions for themselves. It's there to bring confirmation of maybe a current situation or where someone already has an idea or a plan, but they're not sure whether they should do it or not do it. And the fact that it actually comes up in the reading is very, very important. So there's a lot of aspects that are taking place within this. And I really truly feel it's about taking a negative and turning them into positives. The entire reading is about positivity. To empower the person, to lift their confidence, their self-esteem, their self-belief, because that is something that is very, very important within this big wide world out there. Because you see, to carry an air of confidence, it's like the law of attraction. You know, what we give out, we get back. But, you know, in life, when we've had to deal with a lot of stress and a lot of challenges, it can be somewhat soul destroying and our energy levels deplete. And then we're working on a very low self-esteem, and actually we can go backwards. So we're not necessarily sending the right message out for change. And sometimes we can get too involved in the challenges that we're actually making them bigger than what they are. And we need this clarity for the future. You know, this road ahead that is offering hope and positivity. So the code of conduct within giving the reading is very, very important. It is about this element of taking the negative and turning it into the positive. I don't always like for people to talk to me too much because I'm here to pass over to them. But I do like for them to understand what I'm talking about. I do like for them to kind of give me a yes or a no. Because if it is a no, then I delve deeper. That doesn't mean that everything will be understood within a card reading, because it's not always understood. You know, I'm looking for understanding, and that gives the confirmation. So we need an aspect of that within the card reading. But we also need this aspect of where, you know, for the future, for tomorrow. So some things may not be understood at this moment in time. So it may represent tomorrow, next week, next month, and possibly even next year. You know, it can take on certain elements, 12 months for a certain situation to show itself. And, you know, for ourselves, you know, it may not be me directly that's got the challenge. It could be a loved one or a friend that is close to me within the family situations. The wonderful thing, I guess, with life is that, you know, nothing stays the same. So change is something that will happen. It's just when. And while that when is taking place, it's to do with our own energy levels. The other thing about a reading is that, you know, we're here to empower the person that is sat in front of us. But, you know, life is not just governed by me. and what I'm doing in life. Life is also governed by people around me. So a complete stranger could have control over my life and not even know it. And to some extent they do. How often do we pick up a phone to try and get assistance or help in solving a problem, and we could have a person that is so helpful, and they make us calm down, they kind of take away the stress, they tell us they're going to sort it out, it's not a problem. But we also kind of pick up the phone and speak to someone, and there's no help at all. In actual fact, they could make us feel worse and even create greater fear. So it's to do with people around us as well. But it's very much about creating the positive energy, or creating the mindset for a positiveness. The saying that to change my life, I need to change my thinking. And that's something that is very, very, very important. And I'm very aware of that myself, the importance of carrying a positive energy and how my thoughts can create one situation or another. So it's kind of like there's a lot of awareness that's taking place within a card reading once it actually starts. And as I said, we don't always have understanding of what it's all about. So when we start, we got a lot of help, because once we start, we've got the card deck. And the card deck is here to aid and to assist and to bring those elements into play. I often say that the card deck is only half a deck. It's not complete, because you, the one that is learning the deck, is the other half. So the combination of the deck and yourself makes the deck complete. So for that part to come into play, we have to learn to trust and to work with our thoughts and our feelings, our intuition, our psyche, even the gut feeling. And we have to kind of, in a space of time, we have to kind of take these elements and work with them and pass over information. So the deck is very gentle. The deck is, all the cards are positive because they're counteracting the negatives of life. And that's what I say to people, all those cards are positive. There is not a negative card in the deck, but they're counteracting negative influences that are around us. So when we start to turn the cards, they represent a positive energy that's coming into play to counteract a situation in life. We also have a sequence of colours. Now the colours are very, very important, because it's this sequence that strengthens certain directions within the cards and where it's going. So when we turn an actual card over, we have an image. Now for me, the image is so valuable. And I often place images within my own mind to keep my life positive. It's a very interesting one, the power of vision and the importance of that. So when we turn a card, it's very much about looking at what that vision or what that picture is trying to say. So what is it trying to say to me? I do believe there's nothing by chance or coincidence once we start the reading. Everything is trying to tell a story. So when we turn that first card over, it's very much about observation of that picture. And this can be something that takes a little while to learn. But look at those pictures, look at the deck. Try to see how they're making you feel, because your feelings are so important within this card reading and where it takes you and what it's trying to say. When we turn a second card, that second card will also be trying to influence within the card reading. So again, to stir or provoke your thoughts and feelings. We can have two kind of thoughts in a way. One thought can be a spiritual thought that comes from somewhere else, and the other thought can be a very worldly one. So it's a combination of working within the two. I don't keep myself out of a reading. I very much I keep my life out of the reading to an extent, but maybe what's happened to me in my life may try to give some insight or contribute within the reading itself. So it's one of those where I try to keep this neutral road while the reading's taking place, but I have to work with my thoughts and feelings while it's actually happening. And trust in that. Trust in your thoughts and your feelings. The most important thing is how you deliver it across. It's taking that feeling, that thought, that image, and taking that and putting it into a sentence that relates within our physical world. It's not like saying I see an eagle in the sky or I have an eagle and it's bringing power. Why is it bringing the power? Why do we need power? Why do we need confidence? Why do we need strength? And we have to direct that within the card reading and give meaning or substance to direction that the person who's receiving the reading understands why it's here. If not directly, because directly would be for, if I'm receiving the reading, the direct element would be for me personally. But I'm also connected to a lot of people, friends and family and loved ones all around me that are also experiencing life. So is it for me directly, or is it for someone that I'm connected to, which I call indirect, just keeping it simple. So it's these elements that are coming into play, it's where it's taken me, and going with that flow and working with that. So you have your code of conduct, which is very important. It's about the meet and greet, about making the person receiving the reading feel comfortable, it's somewhat secure, and allowing them that they within their feeling comfortable, they are more open to receiving rather than being closed down and trying to get through all this. The intuition, trusting in your intuition, trusting in your thoughts and feelings and your psyche. You know, basically the word psyche represents thoughts, feelings, soulful. It's part of your higher self as well. And I guess in a way it's learning to work more with you, trusting in your inner higher self. I'm putting it into a sentence. I guess it's kind of where we are with this second step, really, because the first step was an introduction about what it was going to be. The second step is your code of conduct and learning to trust or work more with your... It's not just opening up to the deck, it's actually opening up to yourself. If you're not connected to yourself, I think in a way we're relying just on the deck. But yourself carries so much knowledge, so much wisdom, and even the hurt and the pain and the struggles and the difficulties and the joys. They're all part of you being able to sense and feel and relay that message on. So I really want to kind of put that across, and I hope you're feeling that because it's so important in delivering that message as pure and as high, so it empowers, it gives hope for them to make decisions and changes where they wish for them to be. So anyway, thank you very much. I would like for you, I'd be grateful if you could subscribe, if you haven't already. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, which I'm slowly trying to build. This is all a little bit new to me and working in this way, but I'd be grateful if you could. And until step 3, take care, stay safe. Thank you.